How you guys doing? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. Really awesome that you guys are here. Today we are covering the Solanium Launchpad. Now this Launchpad, I've covered it before on the channel, but they recently got a pretty big update. The tiered system has been updated, the website has been updated. So today we are going to look at the current status of this project. We're going to look at the current projects, we're going to look at the status, the team, the white paper, but also the updated tiered system and the current returns that you can get with this Launchpad. So if you want to find out if Solanium is a good Launchpad, well, then stay tuned, we're going to find out. Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe. We're almost at the 800 subscribers. We really appreciate the help. Also note down, I am not a financial advisor. And with that out the way, let's get started with Solanium. So Solanium has, like I said, gone through some changes over the past couple of months. They for sure did some good positive updates to their website, and their token has been behaving quite well also. Overall, the Solanium token has reached almost $5 back at their all-time high, and right now it is currently at its all-time low in the history of this token, which in and of itself brings quite the opportunity with it. Market cap is quite high, 10.5 million, but there's still a lot of opportunity within a market cap this size, especially when market conditions get better. Fully diluted market cap is roughly the same as the market cap. It's exactly the same, which is actually very important to keep note of. The volume isn't as high, it's around $1,100, but it has gone down by 46%. So, it does fluctuate per day quite a bit. So let's start with the first things, and that is the tiered system. So you guys have an idea how expensive it is to get into this Launchpad. So starting with the updated tiered system, we have a grand total of 5 tiers. Tier 1 will require you to stake 800 XSlim. XSlim is the currency of this Launchpad, which you're going to need to buy and stake if you want an allocation on Solanium. So looking at this, 100 is around 10 cents per token. So we're doing 100 times 10 cents. And that shouldn't be that high. It's around $10 for this first tier, which compared to the fact that this is quite a big Launchpad, right? There's a lot of people that are using it, a lot of interested investors. Compared to other Launchpads, right? This is quite a cheap first tier. Now, keep in mind, you will not get a guaranteed allocation for this first tier. Instead, you will get 1 ticket. Now, this 1 ticket isn't worth very much because, as you can see with tier 3, you'll get 100 tickets. So the odds of you winning an allocation with this $10 is, well, let's say minimum. Now let's move over to the staking page because I believe you can see the tiers here in a little bit bigger. So tier 2 isn't much different. Instead of paying $10, you'll be paying $100. In this case, you will get 12 tickets, which ups your chances of getting an allocation by quite a lot. But still, we're talking $100 for just a chance to win a small allocation. So I'm not very interested in that personally. Neither am I interested in tier 3, as I personally always go for the allocated, guaranteedly allocated tiers, which start in Solanium from tier 4. You're going to have to stake at least, if I see this correctly, 10,000 XSlim. Now, 10,000 XSlim, let's see here, 10,000 times 10 cents is already going to be a lot more pricey. We're talking about $1,000 to get that first guaranteed allocated tier. Now keep in mind that this is the price for Solanium being at its all-time low. If you wanted this big tier when the market was bullish and you paid $4 per token, you would have paid tens of thousands of dollars for this first tier. So compared to the past of Solanium, the first guaranteed allocated tier is actually quite affordable. However, it is still quite a lot compared to other launchpads that are selling guaranteed allocations for vastly less money. Look at Communitas or even other launchpads like Oxbull. They're going to sell you guaranteed allocations without lottery tiers for a lot cheaper. Now, keep in mind though, Solanium is a very highly regarded launchpad with a lot of launches and a pretty good track record. So there's a reason why you're paying a lot for a guaranteed allocation, but also keep in mind that the prices are historically low and there's never been a better point of entry for these tiers than there is now. All right, looking at the last tier, that is an astounding 50,000x slim. I'm going to quickly dump it into the calculator just for you guys to see for a little bit of perspective, right? So we're looking at about $5,000 to have the biggest tier on Solanium. So it ranges from 10 to 5,000. All right, let's look at the projects. What are you going to be getting for these type of investments? What can you do with these allocations, and how well is Solanium performing, and how much are they giving their investors? So as we can see right here, there are a bunch of projects listed. These are projects that already ended. So these are not the projects that are going on right now. We'll look at those in a little bit. We're first going to look at this and see the track record of Solanium and how they've been performing. So here we see the all-time high ROI. Keep in mind that an all-time high doesn't really say that much. Vast majority of the all-time highs go above TGE price, but always keep in mind that there is a vesting schedule, so you will not have all of your tokens at TGE, usually only about 10%, and the rest will be sold after the all-time high. And if the token has a bit of a spike, maybe a 2x, and then goes down, well, you maybe got to sell 10% of your tokens for a 2x, the rest of your tokens you sold at a loss. So the all-time high, not really that relevant. We do have some spectacular all-time highs here, right? Here are 20x on Vision Game. We see a 5x on Hubble and another 5x on Solana. Now, these are actual pretty good returns again. They funded 36 projects in total with roughly 11.5 thousand participants with a raised capital combined of over 17 million, which is quite impressive. Now let's look at some of these projects over in CryptoRank. For instance, Dragon War. At first sight, it looks pretty good, right? It's in the green, 2.5x, so it looks like it's a big win. But let's try and look it up over here. Yeah, there you go, Dragon War. And look at the token sale. Now what we can see here is exactly what I was afraid of, is we have this 143% increase at the beginning, right? We're talking all-time high, but that doesn't sustain itself. So it dropped down afterwards back to 0.3x. And if we click on more details, we can see the vesting schedules. And with the vesting schedules, we can see that 20% was released over at the TGE. So 20% of the tokens would have been sold at a 2.44 increase of value. After that, there was a 3-month cliff. So during this 3-month cliff, the price would have continued to devaluate over time. And then the token vesting started for 4 months. And during these 4 months, we already were selling our tokens at a minus 70%. So is this a successful project? Not really. This project happened in 2022 on March, which is, again, the middle of the bear market. So it's understandable, but keep it in mind. Solanium did a pretty small raise of only 142K. And the only other launchpad that launched this project was Red Kite, not the biggest launchpad either. And their vesting schedules were the same. Let's do the same thing with a couple of other projects. Maybe one that was more successful, like Vision Game. Let's see, because on Solanium, we only see the all-time high, but we don't see anything other than that. Am I writing this wrong, or is it just not on CryptoRank? Ah, there it is. It was without the spacebar. Going over to the token sale right here, and there we go. We see not even the all-time high being that high. Well, let's see, 11. Yeah, here we don't see any 20x. So I'm not quite sure why they advertise a 20x when CryptoRank is saying that there never happened, right? There never a 20x that occurred here in the first place. Now for the rest, this is a 20x, as they say over here. These are the real stats though. Here's the Solanium IDO, which ended in February of 2022. Of course, we had a 4.7x, which is not like the 20x that they advertise on their website. And after that, the project went down with 0.21x, which is a minus 78% return. Also here, 15% at TGE, meaning most of the investors, or all of the investors, only got a small part of their tokens sold with good profits, and the rest with devastating losses. So was this a good project? Once again, not really. This project happened many months ago, so if it was going to rebound and have a successful path afterwards or spike up again, that it would have done so by now, and it didn't. So not the most successful project. Here Solanium did a very big raise of 600,000. So yeah, I mean, they're getting their pools full. You can tell that they have a large backbone, but thus far, and again, partially because of the bear market, but the projects aren't necessarily doing a lot. They're not generating a lot of revenue. Not entirely Solanium's fault, but it is very important to keep in mind. Let's do the same thing with one more, and let's go over to Solvent. Obviously, a little bit more known among investors, this project. So this was launched in January. It was launched by Gate.io and by Solanium. Also here, a decent all-time high ROI, but after that, it went down to a 0.12x. Also a pretty large raise, once again, 250K. There was no lockup. I don't really see a clear vesting schedule here. I assume it wasn't 100% TGE. So yeah, once again, not really a successful project. Okay. So they've been struggling in the bear market. Okay, what's new? We knew that already, right? So we know for a fact that we might not be very interested in investing in Solanium projects right now, but we might still be interested in what is to come, or we might just want to get our allocation, hold off from investing, and invest when the market gets a little bit more bullish. So there's still plenty of opportunities, but the current projects that they have been launching thus far over on their platform just haven't been getting those good results that we are looking for. Very important to keep in mind. Now, we're going to move forward. We're not going to linger on this. See what the upcoming projects are. These are the live projects, so these are going on right now. We have Serious Finance, Moonfrost, Yam, Merle, and Reign of Terror. Here we can also see their raises from 200K all the way to small 54K, all the way up to 500K. So these are 3, 4, 5 projects, which is quite a lot that they have in the pipeline. You can click on either of the projects to come to this page where you will find more information regarding the IDO. Here we have, for instance, the date. This was in May, so it was a while ago. This was when the whitelisting started and when the sale started. The distribution, however, is still yet to happen, which is why it's still inactive, because they're still waiting on the distribution. The tokens will be airdropped to you, it says here. So everyone who invested didn't get their tokens yet, which is why it's still in the active pool. Let's do the same thing with Yam and see what we can dig up regarding this project. Yam has everything still to be announced. So the whitelist, sale start, and the distribution start is still not clear yet. They have a hard cap of 300,000 USDC, the token price of 0.075, and a pool size of 4 million. All right. Well, it's interesting to see, that we have absolutely no information yet on this. So it's probably still an early project that is still yet to announce a lot of this information. Website looks pretty cool though. So yeah, overall, what I can say right now, looking at Solanium and mostly the current status of Solanium, right? They're being hit hard by the bear market, and it's blatantly obvious, right? They're launching these projects, but the projects don't give any good returns. Somehow they manage to fill up their pool, so they have a strong backbone of supporters, interested in Solanium, but it's just not good enough. Right? With the current sentiment, with how things are going, it's not going to be enough to fill up your pools and have profits at the same time also. So what is going to be the next step for Solanium? Well, in my opinion, they're just going to have to survive this bear market. They're going to have to survive and make it to the bull where Launchpads will stop bleeding. And this is a very interesting entry point for exactly that tactic. Like I said before, token is at an all-time low, and Launchpads have been bleeding for a very long while. Meanwhile, Solanium has shown to be evolving. They have updated their website. They're still launching projects. They're still interacting with the community and holding true to their roadmap and developing the ecosystem. So what we can see is that they're building behind the screens while trying to survive this bear market. And it gives me a sense that Solanium is set to absolutely blow up in the future, both their token and their projects that are going to be launching on this platform. So again, this is not financial advice, but it seems like a very interesting investment opportunity to get in now, get in cheap, hold off, don't invest in any of these projects because 90% of these projects don't give you any returns because of the market sentiment. hold on to your tokens, stake, invest them, whatever you want, right? Get some returns for that. And then when market conditions better, you can participate in these projects with the allocation you bought for cheap, and perhaps even sell your Solanium tokens for a profit. That would be my personal take on Solanium, because right now there's just not a lot of utility to it. The projects just aren't giving those returns. And even if they are giving returns, they're so small that I don't see the point in it. So that would be my personal take on that. Now, for the rest, there's not much else in the website. They have some success stories, but most of these projects, guys, were from the last bull run. That's when you see these big returns, right? You don't see a 1,500% or a 15,000% return in the bear market. It just doesn't happen. So yes, these are good success stories. And yes, Solanium has had many very successful projects, many success stories to tell. However, keep in mind, different times. So prepare your strategy appropriately. And that is just about it for the website. I really like what they did with it. They also have a section for trading. Once you've selected your wallet, I haven't selected it, that's why I cannot access anything. But there you will be able to trade and swap your tokens with the selected wallet. All right, you guys, before we move over to the price and the token, we're quickly going to move over to the white paper, and we're going to see what's going on over there. As you can see, the tokenomics and the white paper and all that haven't changed. They're still the same, and I think that's good. You shouldn't be touching that stuff too fast and too much. So right now we're seeing a 20% tokens for the team with only a 6-month lockup. Yeah, there we go. And then 10% unlocked each month thereafter. So the team is probably already done vesting most of their tokens. I mean, they started... Yeah, they're probably either done or they're still doing it, but almost done. 25% is for the supply and 5% is for the advisors. 15% will be going to the liquidity, 10% to the marketing, and 25% for the company reserves, which will be 100% locked for 1 year. Here's the vesting schedules in a graph. And then we can finally move forward to the roadmap. Our roadmap is a little bit outdated. So we see here it starts at Q2 2021, base platform launch, new website, tradable DEX and UI, and yada, yada, yada. This is ages ago, right? So they just worked on their own public sales and their platform, etc. The last bit of the roadmap that is on their white paper is Q1 of 2022, and that is the first phase of the Solanium governance. So not a lot of information, and their roadmap seems to be a little bit out of date, which is unfortunate, of course, at best. Here we see their trading function on the Solanium site, built-in availability for you to trade. Of course, there's going to be staking. Slim tokens are lockable for a selection lock time with the maximum lock time of 1 year. By locking Slim tokens in the staking contract, the user will receive XSlim, and XSlim will then be able to be used for the guaranteed allocations, etc. Right? So you buy Slim. Right, that's what you buy, and you stake it to get XSlim, which you can use for the Launchpad. All right, so that's a little bit of an introduction there if you didn't know how the XSlim tokens worked. Then here we have the core function of the platform will be the Solanium pools. On Solanium pools, anyone with a Solana wallet can create a pool to distribute SPL token. We will provide an easy to use UI where users can set up their pool with just a few clicks. All right. And then we have governance as usual in a decentralized platform such as Solanium. All right, now looking over at the token again, right, we're seeing a market cap at 10.5 million. Now, what is that saying? Well, it's saying that there is a lot of money in this project and they have a very strong market cap, but it's also small enough to still host a lot of future potential. A project like this could easily reach up to 50 to 60 million, and in a bull might even reach up to 100 million. That would be a 10x easily. So, it's not a super small market cap, right? We're not talking about a 300k market cap, but 10 mil still has solid investment opportunities and gives quite some good balance to the project and professionality. The volume, like I said, is rather low, and it somehow dropped for some reason over the past couple of days. Over the past 7 days, we have been trending upward. This month, however, we have gone down quite a lot. That's just a market trend overall. I do see that over the past 3 months, Solanium has provided several interesting opportunities, right? A lot of these spikes where you could have made some interesting trades. Overall, they haven't really listened to the market sentiment, which has been going down linearly. Solanium hasn't really stuck to the same pace. They have gone up and down, fluctuating and not really listening to the rest of the crypto market. Over a year, we do see this downward trend, but on a yearly scale that is, impossible to ignore. So it is interesting to see in 3 months' time, the token hasn't really lost its value. Instead, it keeps fluctuating and it looks like a great token to trade. And I think that's also why we have this volume here, people trading this token because of its the fluctuation that it has. And staking and holding this is actually pretty okay choice, mostly because the token is so solid. It doesn't really go down or up. That's all it does, but the overall price average stays the same. Now, as far as the CoinMarketCap sentiment concerns, it is more bullish than I've ever seen in my life. We are seeing barely any bearish comments. Everybody is super excited about the project. It has over 55,000 investors on the watch list. And if we move over to the Sol scan, we'll be able to see exactly how many transfers are being done and who is holding this token overall. So these top 10 here are usually only contracts. So these are tokens that are locked up in contracts right now. Over here, these are some actual investors, some personal wallets. You can see that there's a bunch of investors holding tens of thousands of these tokens, which is always a good sign overall. We're not seeing any big whales that can influence the price too much, which is good, but we are seeing a lot of big investors, which is also good. As far as the transfers and transactions go, you can see them all here. Quite a lot of volume. Again, like I said, not as much as I would have expected. It went down a little bit over time, but we're still seeing several transactions every hour, which is nice and healthy. Then over here, we have their Twitter. They have more than 500,000 followers, which is a lot, right? So this is certainly a big Twitter. Also here, they did an overhaul. They changed some of their designs from a couple of months ago. So a new jacket, let's put it like that. They're posting quite frequently, several times a week for sure. I love their design. They definitely put a lot of time and effort into that. Their community interaction is quite solid. Lots of retweets and likes. And like I said before, they post a lot. Here, for instance, they say, for the community, by the community, navigate through our rebranding, buckle up, get ready for a wild ride, right? So here is a little article regarding their rebranding, and you can see that the community is taking it well. Lots of likes, lots of retweets. Here we see some comments. We do have some people that are pissed, right? In short, scam project of the universe, give me my money back. So, not everybody is as bullish, of course. Here are some people saying that it's a scam. Now, one thing that we have to get straight, right? And that is, sure, I'm not here playing God and saying, hey, this is not a scam. It could be, but I'm not really seeing anything that gives me a strong feeling that it is, right? They have been around for a while. They've had many success stories. They are still doing projects right now, but they're launching projects that many other launchpads are launching as well. And yes, the projects are not very good right now, but I've reviewed loads of launchpads, and there's not a single launchpad right now that is launching good projects. It's because of the market sentiment, and there's not a lot Solanium can do about it. The rebranding looks nice and very professional, and I haven't heard any big concrete scam stories regarding Solanium. Now, I'm not saying they're perfect. I've heard some bad stories about them, and there are definitely some red flags regarding Solanium, but to call it an outright scam, I'm not sure if it is. Now, there is a division, right? You have some people bearish, you have some people bullish, and clearly over on CoinMarketCap, right, this is partially botted, right? Because there's no way that everybody is this bullish. But overall, I'm pretty sure that they do have a pretty strong backbone. Here, for instance, we see a top 15 promising projects with the market cap under 10 million, which is also featuring Solanium. And since the 2nd of September, actually, the new website is live. So that is quite recent actually. So they have been working hard on their new website and all that. Now, to really concretely answer the question, is Solanium a scam? We're really going to have to wait and see. For right now, I would say absolutely not, right? Again, it is not financial advice, it's my personal opinion, but from what I have been seeing, you guys, I've been seeing a project that has been evolving, that has been providing projects, and yes, the projects haven't been doing all that well, but there's not really any Launchpad right now that is able to provide projects that perform better. Is it the best Launchpad out there? Absolutely not. Is it the best Launchpad on Solana right now? I'm almost inclined to say yes, or at least in the top 2, because there's not a lot of other Solana launchpads that are launching this much and have such a good track record. I love their rebranding, and they definitely have a lot of success stories to tell from their previous bull run. So yeah, I definitely think it's in the top. It's not a bad platform whatsoever. All right, you guys, I'm going to cut it there before I keep blabbering on and on. So thank you guys so much for joining in again today. Really do appreciate that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I wish you guys a wonderful day. Turn on the notifications, and then I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao, ciao, bye-bye. Take care.